Well, being the first co-ed freshman class, I have to say on the positive side that the college was great about, I came in with fully scheduled teams, varsity teams, I think JV also, with equipment and coaches and a schedule. So that was very impressive. The male teams were very supportive. I remember our first field hockey game, the rugby team was out there doing a kick line and cheering us on. The sports as a whole has really progressed and become a lot more, I think, serious. And, so I think, but there's still work for the women and men to be treated equally. And I think that's what Title IX is all about. There's, certainly more participation and, and recognition that women can be athletes and accepted as athletes and as mothers and athletes. But the revenue disparity continues. For the sports world, it's all about revenue and, making women's sports attractive to watch other than watching them as attractive people.
I think there was definitely this level of excitement about women's athletics in that time frame or in that era. I think there was a way that people were very much, on one hand, appreciative of what we had, but on another hand, I think there was a way that there was still a lot of fighting for equality and comparing what we had to the men's side. I hope someday, we can look back and be like, all of these women paved the way for these professional team sport athletes who are being able to earn a living, playing their passion.
It was just a wonderful developmental era of women trying things that they hadn't before, or further developing something that they had been introduced to at the high school or family level. So the opportunity was there, and I think that was probably the most exciting part for me and for the athletes, that they found something out of the academic educational realm to find a little bit of a community of developing themselves as women athletes. And I think they felt very, very welcomed at Amherst by the community and by the male athletes at the time. They were so excited about having an opportunity to learn a sport and watching their growth from their first time on the playing surface through their 4 years, and how good they became with some dedication and some commitment, and how much fun they had during that time. That was just the most fun part.
I think it was a very kind of unique type of coaching experience as I look back now, in that I think it was a matter of trying to imagine, create, and see the possibilities for women within the, particularly for me, within the collegiate experience as an integral part of their educational process. What I wanted initially was to inspire, present athletics as a means, just like their male counterparts, that they would take the great aspects that athletics, kind of endows upon you by being part of it, and taking that into their workplaces, into their daily lives. I think at that time, women were so excited, to call them up on the telephone and tell them that you were interested in them as a student athlete. It was such a great experience for those individuals and their families, because many of them didn't know it was going to be an avenue for them. Opening up the collegiate athletic opportunities, which allowed them to develop the networks that their male counterparts had always had, I think was very, very eye-opening to a lot of young women. The other thing that's changed drastically is that I feel like athletics has given the female athlete a voice. Not only we coaches, but I feel like the sense of athletics and what it does for them allows them to be, I think, a lot more aware, a lot more vocal about the things that they see and that they want.
So I think, it was fun. We were determined, even though our records were not great in the beginning. I think we felt like we were part of something, that we really were kind of intrepid adventurers starting out on this path with Amherst around establishing these teams. What a wonderful place to develop a sense of community, and specifically a sense of community with other women. That was so powerful. And I think it was especially powerful being in the minority at Amherst at the time. I think another lesson, as I mentioned, was around just, the opportunities for leadership. How could we step out, whether it was in sort of formal roles as captains, but also just that we were groundbreakers. And I think my guess is that impacted a lot of people in positive ways who were playing sports at the time that I was.